Yeah. Don't fall. Okay, I'm going for like a world record in how fast I can like crank out a video after I had a dream. Um, and by a world record, I mean like 3 days. But I've been really busy though. Let's see. So I want to say like 2 days ago, I had a nap in the evening on this specific couch. And I saw actually a really cool dream, which I think went on later. It continued later when I fell asleep for real. Um, but I usually don't have dreams when I nap. Um, it never happens. And naps are usually quite short, but this time I slept for like 3 hours and I had this crazy dream. Which doesn't really matter because apparently we see dreams in like a tiny fraction of the time we actually sleep, or at least the ones that we remember. At least that's what I've heard. Um, Apparently, the dreams we see them, or at least the ones we remember, we see them in the last minute or like half a minute leading up to us waking up. Actually, like I have no idea what the source for that is. I read it on the internet, but now that I'm saying it out loud, it sounds kind of stupid, but maybe it is true. But either way, it doesn't matter. What matters is the dream that I had. Okay, focus. uh, so I fell asleep, and in that dream, there were layers of dreams. So like, I would be seeing a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream, and I remember waking up about 2 or 3 times, so going back up to this like regular reality, not completely, but like a couple of levels up, and I wake up in what looks like a desert, and I'm not myself. I'm like this middle-aged guy with a stubble and shorter hair than mine, also long but not entirely short. And next to me is another guy who also wakes up. I don't know if he is a dreamer as well, or if he was just there. But he wakes up next to me, and we're both. It's nighttime. We're on sand, which in what looks like a desert at first. The sky is clear. There are stars above us, and between us is a fire, still on. Not sure uh, who made it, who put it on, who put it there. Um, but it's there. Uh, and the guy's like, "Whoa!" Actually, I don't remember what the guy said. Sorry, I should have prepared for this. I should have thought about it in my head. I should have tried remembering it before recording. But bear with me. We talk with the guy. Most likely about the dream that we both were seeing, or I'm not sure, maybe we were in two different dreams. But I explained the situation to him that yeah, we were inside a dream, and I don't know if I'm aware that I'm still inside the dream at that point, but we got on a bicycle and we tried to get out of there. But before he asks me, well, like, where are we? And I show him around. So imagine that we're here, I'm here, the fire is here, the guy is there, right? And behind us is like a mound, a long hill of sand, like a dune, like a really long dune. And right behind the dune, there's a train going back and forth. And we kind of see the top of the train, but we don't see the train entirely. It's like a high-speed modern train. And we both understand that we're at the edge of the world, or at least of the world in whatever place I was at. That the country or the world or the planet or whatever ends there behind that dune. So it's like a train that goes all the way around it, but behind it there's like an infinite ocean or a drop into nothingness. We cannot see what it is because it's behind the dune. Um, when we look the other way, so that way, um, we see the desert stretching on for a little bit, maybe about 500 meters, so maybe a kilometer. I don't know. It's hard to say how long the distance was. It wasn't a dream. And behind that, it kind of stops, and there's a gulf. I don't know if it's a sea or definitely not a lake, maybe an artificial canal, but a very, very large one. Um, there are docks on the water and a lot of ships, industrial ships, but I also see a very large cruise ship. And to the left begins this sort of industrial factory area. And it all looks very, very futuristic. So I guess this was happening in the future, in like a future. Well, I don't know how a futuristic factory looks like. I guess there were neon lights and stuff, like blue lights. No, not neon lights. Just a lot of bright lights, and it felt futuristic. I guess there were robots there, maybe. Um, so once again, behind us, a hill, a dune, end of the world. That way, ships, a lot of shipyards, a large cruise ship, and that way, are factories in an industrial area. But it's pretty much, it's not lived in. It's not abandoned either because it's quite busy, but it's a place where you don't usually go. And it doesn't feel, a lot of times in the movies, in the sort of area I'm describing, it feels very dirty or run down. This whole place felt very pristine, like cared for, weirdly enough, despite the fact that it was kind of a desert. Or it wasn't, it was just a whole bunch of sand. I don't know. A micro desert. I don't know, what do you call a place with a lot of sand if it's not a desert? And it has dunes and stuff, but it's not that big. Um, so we both get on a bicycle and we kind of drive that way and between the factories, and he's on the back. And suddenly, the dream transitions into something slightly different. Suddenly, I am myself again, and I am on a bike, and there are two girls behind me, and we're carrying stuff, or at least trying to put stuff on the bike. I remember I had this big mattress, like one-person mattress, and I was trying to attach it to the bike or get it. No, I think I was trying to get it over a large fence. I think we were riding the bike, and then we hit this big gate which was closed. So we had to climb over it, but first we had to throw all our stuff over the gate. So the mattresses and the bike itself. And I remember trying to get the mattress over the gate, but there was dirt everywhere and it was very dirty. It was nighttime as well, though it was quite dark. There was one old orange street lamp shining. There were trees. It was warm. It was a summer night or like late spring night. There were a lot of trees on the left and on the right. It was like quite a large alleyway, as if in a park or something. And well, we were trying to get over the fence. And behind the fence, there was a car road, which ran perpendicular to the one that we were on. And it felt like a village in Ukraine, I would say, because there was nobody on the street. It was very dark, almost no lights except for this one street light. One story tall houses, private houses. basically a village, like a very bad road as well. Um, and we came out in front of one of the houses, and apparently that was the house that we were staying at, and that one looked a lot like a village house in Ukraine. And um, these two girls were supposed to pack their stuff, and they had these inflatable mattresses that they were sleeping on. But weirdly enough, there was a whole bunch of other people in that room. It was very busy, and that's, well, strangely enough, that's something that I've noticed about my recent dreams, is that there are crowds of people in them, and I wouldn't remember who those people are. The atmosphere felt kind of friendly, but also somewhat unfamiliar. Um, and there was this other girl sleeping on one of them, or sitting on one of the mattresses, and I wanted to. I don't know exactly what I wanted to do, because I obviously wanted to get the mattress and go, so I had to deflate it. So I took the thing out. Oh no, sorry. I wanted to inflate it a little more for her, but for that I had to open the valve, the air valve. But I opened it and suddenly it started deflating very fast, and the girl was on the ground. I was like, oh, sorry. It was an accident. I was actually trying to inflate it a bit for you, but that was it. Nothing happened after that. And I wish I could describe the feeling I got from this dream. Hope, excitement for the future, slight nostalgia. It was a strange mix of emotions. I don't know, it's hard to describe it. You sometimes get that after you've had a nice dream. And I think the dream continued in some capacity when I went to sleep for real. But I wouldn't remember what I dreamt about. I think the night after that I dreamt about my ex-girlfriend now coming back to me. And it turned out that, the whole story was just a big misunderstanding. And we were back together, just hanging out. It is what it is. Whatever. Enough.